through a friend of mine. It was just a high school friend who I had kept in touch with for like 4 or 5 years just on Instagram. And I was just working a college job, just working at a restaurant actually, just serving. And my friend was like, yo, I made like insane money this summer and you should come try it. And I was like, well, if my friend can do it, I can do it. And sure enough, went out 4 months and crushed it. So
Were you skeptical?
yeah, definitely. Almost everything sounds too good to be true when it kind of is in the business world. But yeah, pretty much my whole family was skeptical. Like my mom, my aunt, my uncle, pretty much everyone that was around me at the time. They told me, no, like, don't do it. It's a scam. And then, I just kind of had faith in my friend more so. And I was like, well, my friend wouldn't lie to me about that.
Did you know you were going to be good?
I mean, I'm pretty good at everything. So I kind of had that like intuition that, it didn't matter kind of what I was doing, but more so like if I just put my mind to something, just one thing, if I just focus on one thing, I will get it done. I think that's one of the biggest reasons why I love this job is because I can just put all of my energy into 4 months and then go extremely hard, be successful at it, and then take the next 8 months to just relax and not have to grind as hard. The opportunity for income that you can make in this job in 4 months is more than 99% of people make in a year. So it truly is amazing to be able to like just grind super hard. And I'm going to be working hard anyway, right? If I'm working consistently throughout the year, 9 to 5, I'm going to be working 5 days a week anyway. So might as well put all of it into 4 months and then be able to have the freedom afterwards to really enjoy life. Traveling is probably one of my biggest, I'd say the financial freedom and just the freedom to be able to do whatever I want is the biggest perk of this job. Like the money's great, but having the money to be able to just go do whatever you want, it's not like you need that much. And this job provides more than enough. Even if you're half as good as what I'm doing, you can still be very successful and have so much free time in the off season to do what you love. That's the hardest thing because, I mean, honestly, everyone's parents are going to be looking out for what's best in their son or their daughter. It's definitely something that it takes a lot of support and courage from your parents to be able to do this job. Like, you need a backbone. It was extremely hard for me not having my family's support. If you do have your family's support, it definitely means a lot. And I know now, after the first year of me being successful and having my mom's support, having my aunt, my uncle's support, them encouraging me while I'm out here and pushing me and, supporting me, it really does help a lot. So if there are any parents out there that are, questionable or anything about it, just be supportive of what your son or daughter wants, because that's the biggest thing I would say. And it's like, yeah, what do you say to helicopter parents? Well, Hunter's mom, she was a helicopter parent for sure. I mean, Hunter knows that in and out. He literally was bubbled his whole life. His mom, I think now, after this job is done, is going to be closer to him after the summer, and he'll be closer to her because she let him have his freedom. And then he's going to actually come back and really have a respect and appreciation for her supporting him. Yeah, I think probably the hardest out of anything in this job, most people would probably like assume that it's the physical aspect, like walking around all day in the 90-degree heat. I don't think the physical is at all a problem for any 20-year-old guy. We're kind of meant to do hard things. That's kind of what we're for in our 20s. So I don't think it's the physical, but it's more so the mental. And it has kind of always been for every guy out here that has came out, for every guy that's ever tried to do door to door. I think the reason why it's so hard for quite a few people is because of the mental. And you just have to realize that like at the end of the summer, you're going to go back to doing what you love, or you're going to go back to school and you're going to see all your friends, you're going to see all your family members again. It's not like, you're committing to a year or 6 years like in the military, it's just 3-4 months. And if you can just power through and realize that like in 3 to 4 months, you're back to like normal life, if not a better life, which is kind of what I took out of it. I'm able to travel and do whatever I want. That's really like what you have to keep through your mindset to get over that mental struggle. You talk to 99 people and they all say no. And then you get to that one person at the end of your day. And if you're not still on your A game and you're not still enthusiastic, you're not going to sell that person. But, thankfully, if you're taught well, trained well by guys like me, Ashton, Chase, If you have a good team leader who trains you well and motivates you and keeps you going, you're going to get to that last door that's going to be a sale, and it's because you kept that smile on your face and you kept going. Another thing too that I kind of want to touch on, I think a lot of people, if you've ever been through something that's like extremely difficult in your life, I think that kind of does build your mental strength and fortitude. Is fortitude the right word? I don't even know. I think it does kind of build up how much your level of pain or level of your tolerance is, right? That threshold. If you've been through something hard, then obviously the mediocre things don't really seem that hard at all. And, I went through a significant injury, broke my leg in half. I couldn't walk for 6 months. So coming from that, it's like, all right, walking around knocking doors isn't that hard. At least I can walk. But successful people in this industry, a lot of them stem from people who have gone through hard things. I think anybody who's ever gone through an injury or something that's major in their life, a traumatic event, they'll be successful at this job because they have that mental strength. So I think the biggest skill that anyone can take away from this job, whether you're in sales, whether you're going into business, or whether you're just doing anything for an interview in the future, right? If you want to, get hired by an employer, the biggest takeaway from this job by far is confidence. Being able to talk to homeowners, people who have hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars, right? We knock on doors where people are multimillionaires. And, you talk to someone with a mansion, a 10,000 square foot house. I felt like I was knocking on the White House the other day. And, if you develop the skill set to be able to talk to those people who are super successful, then you're going to feel super confident talking to an employer or somebody else that's, not as wealthy. And I think that's one of the biggest takeaways from this job is just the confidence builder. Kind of reminds me of my little brother because he's very introverted. Like if you've met him, you would think he's adopted or I'm adopted because we're the exact opposites. But it's surprising how well introverts do in this job. I think the biggest thing with anxiety though is almost everyone has it for a little bit, right? There's something that always pushes you out of your anxiety. There's always a motivation for everyone. That's what I've kind of learned from my brother, is that there's something that makes an introvert become an extrovert. And if you just find that threshold or that hot button that pushes you to go out and get past that anxiety. I mean, for me, I rolled up in a 10,000 plus square foot neighborhood where I'm knocking a 17,000 square foot home, and I'm like, yo, even I'm nervous, right? Like, I've been doing this for 3 years, and even to me, I'm like, oh wow, like this is kind of intimidating. So I kind of just look down at myself and I'm like, all right, why did I come out here? Why did I want to do this? And like at the worst case, at the end of the day, they're just going to say no. But it's funny because usually those people who are the most intimidating end up being the least intimidating. The one thing that we all have in common is that we're just trying to get better, right? We're trying to improve, whether it's mentally, physically, we're at the gym every day. Or financially, which is the biggest thing. Financial freedom is something that this job definitely gives you the opportunity of. And basically, we just took the best of the best, put us in a group, and we now are able to share our experiences, share our life, coaching, everything with these guys, and help them become the best version of themselves, right? I look at some of these interns, like Preston, and I'm like, dude, this guy's a mini me. Like, he's literally reminding me of myself when I first did this. And, all of the info, the life skills that I'm able to help these guys gain just for free, just because they're out here with me every day, that is, to me, invaluable, way more than the money that you get from this job. Yeah, that's the hardest caveat out of everything, I think, is because I've had so many guys do this and both succeed and fail. And, one thing that I want to make very clear to every single person who ever does this is that if you're going to do it, commit to it 100%, right? Make this your daily, every day. I'm going to study, I'm going to work hard, I'm going to push myself the most I can, and you will come out of it with so much value. The amount of guys out here who have said this is the best thing, and me included, I mean, it's changed my life. Definitely, it can change yours as well. This is actually all right. I need to think here. I've been talking for a hot minute.
I know, man.
I need a little break. I need a little water. Do we have any water bottles?
Is there anything, I guess, before I get to my final question, is there anything that you
Clip that.